Let's start this with little backstory. I live in really small town in Finland, roughly 300 people lives in our town. Mostly workers of nearby factory and elderly people. In summertime our town is busy from tourists and other travelers, but this story happened at winter time and in winter our town is totally ghost town. I work in our town's pub as bartender and despite the quiet winters we keep the pub open for people to have a place to spend time and not to get lonely. It was a normal winter Friday, quiet and cold. I had couple locals as customers playing some tunes from jukebox and getting hammered, while I was keeping the fire burning in the fireplace. Winter has just started and we were discussing when it will start to get really snowing. Night went well and for not so surprisingly probably 1h before closing it started to snow heavily. I closed the pub normally and after I got places cleaned I started to make paperwork. Our pub closes 2 a.m. and clock was around 3 a.m. when I heard really loud banging coming from our pub staff door. It was like someone had a fucking death or life emergency banging. And I went beast mode right away. I didn't know what or who it is. I went closer to the door when I heard a man's voice, "Please help me. Open the door. Is there someone?" And I remember that I did some fast thinking what could it be. Really it could be trick to get me open the door so someone could rob our pub since we live far away from everything. But still it could be someone in real danger like be chased by fucking bear or wild boar. I decide to take my trusty baseball bat that I keep behind the bar counter all the time and went open the door. The man literally rushed trough me inside to the bar and first thing that I do is close the door behind him, I don't want anything else to come in. I recognize the man as one of the locals, he never comes to our bar, but I know that he has really bad alcohol problem. I notice that he don't have shoes or gloves or hat. Just normal clothes that you wear in home and he is fucking freezing. He starts to speak so fast that I won't understand anything. I told him to slow down. Then he tells me this rubber faces they are chasing me, please help me. Of course I think that guy is just drunk as fuck, but still something in the man's eyes tells me that he is really scared for his life, and it gives me the creeps. I can't see outside very well, it still snows heavily and it's dark as hell and we don't have streetlights. I try to look from every window but as we have no streetlights I can't see anything. I know a woman that is very good friend of this poor guy and decide to try calling her. He answers and I tell her that I am sorry to call at this late but his friend is pretty messed up at bar right now and could she come and pick him up. She tells me that she grabs her coat and comes, it won't take a long because she lives just next to the pub. Guy still keeps pacing front to back in the chair and mumbling about the rubber faces and how they will hunt him down when the woman comes to pick him up. She tells me that guy has pretty strong medication and it's just probably that he has not taken his meds. She also tells me that he takes the guy to her place for the night since it's safer that way and it's shorter way for her. I'm happy that it's over now. I finish the paperwork and get ready to go home. I'm still thinking this guy and the rubber faces and it makes me pretty nervous because the apartments where the guy lives is nearby my house. I decide to take the bat and flashlight with me because it's still dark as hell and we have no streetlights. When I get to road next to our pub I'm watching my surroundings very closely because it's deep forest on both sides. Then it happens I notice the footprints in the snow. My heart skips a beat and I panic. There are ones that leads to our pub, and then there are 3 distorted pairs of footprints that looked like they have been following the first ones. Then I hear loud sound of snapping branch from the forest nearby and fucking start to run like a wind. I haven't run so fast in long time. I run the whole way to home and never looked back. This story still scares the shit out of me. I still don't know what those footprints meant and what was lurking in the forest, but I know that everything wasn't right that night and I'm happy that I never met things that made the last 3 pairs of footprints.